Ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video we're going to be going over all of the tips, tricks and need to know information in order to absolutely dominate the September boss rush. Because this boss rush has a few fights that can be a little bit of a problem, but as long as you're prepared with a really good counter and you're aware of what's going on, I don't think it's too bad. And one of the best things about this boss rush is if you can get it done fairly easily and you've got the right champions for it, it is a very quick and easy way to get 10,000 5-star shards. So I like the rewards, man. Personally, I think there are a couple of fights that are, quite tricky, maybe a little bit overtuned in comparison, but there are a lot of counters to some of the champions available today. So we're going to be going through all of the fights, and I've written up kind of a big list of counters to the two really big problem fights, which are Domino and also Symbiote Supreme, and we'll be talking about those fights as we go along. So yeah, let's have a bit of a chat first and foremost about the very first encounter, which is super easy, man. I believe this one was designed by Rich the Man. It's a really easy King Groot, man. He's got 20% Limber Note, True Strike, and enemy nullify effects have a 65% chance to fail. So yeah, he's just a really easy King Groot for the most part, nothing you need to worry about too much. Also, in terms of the other fights and stuff, you have to deal with a Domino, a Quake, an Invisible Woman, a Symbiote Supreme, and a Taskmaster. Now, in terms of the team that you're ideally looking to build, you want a champion that can counter Domino, a champion that can counter Symbiote Supreme, and we're going to talk about those two fights in a bit of detail soon. You want a strong damage output champion who doesn't rely on debuffs, that is for the Quake, and then you want a strong damage output champion who doesn't rely on damage over time, and that can be, the same as your option for Quake there, but it might be good to bring in one for Invisible Woman. Essentially, there's a very stacked quarter note, so you can use a champion like Luke Cage that has exhaustion but not a strong bleed champion, or you'll give her way too much power and then she just becomes a little bit of a pain. And then you probably want a backup counter for Domino, because she kind of is the roadblock when it does come to this challenge. And Symbiote Supreme, you can just throw revives at that encounter to get it down if worst does come to the worst. So yeah, you got a really easy King Groot to start off with, and then you've got your first big problem. So you've got Domino, who regenerates 1% health, so this is just over 1,000. It's pretty much twice per second, so it's about 2k regeneration every single second. It's very big regeneration to try and contend with. On top of that, you've got Ensnare Tech, so Tech champions suffer 4,000 true damage when they enter the fight, and also minus 100% ability accuracy. There are a couple of characters like Mysterio and Warlock that can get around this due to their various abilities, but it pretty much removes all the other tech champions from the table when it comes to this one. And you also have Backblast as well. So the attacker's critical damage is doubled. However, if you deal over 5% of the defender's max health, so if you hit just over 5,000, you're going to incinerate, and you're going to die so quickly, man. The incinerate is just absolutely wild against this Domino. So yeah, you need to watch out there, because Backblast is a really nasty note, and that note also removes a ton of options as well. So I just think there's a little bit too much on Domino, man. I think 1% regeneration by itself would have been fine. If I were designing this, man, I'd remove the Ensnare Tech and Backblast, or remove the 1% regeneration, because I think all of these nodes make the fight personally just a little bit niche, man. Really struggled on my free-to-play account. However, if you do have the right champions, there are quite a few characters that can get through this fight. The first one is Void Man. Void is one of the best options for this fight, but also be aware that you do have a chance for your debuffs to fail applying, and also the conversion to fail as well, because of Domino's unlucky, so that can be really annoying. Archangel and Heavy Spam seems a very popular tactic for a lot of people. I've even seen a 3-star Archangel take down this Domino, so yeah, Archangel and Heavy Spam is really good. Just watch out for the bleeds and Domino kind of absorbing those bleeds. Captain America Awakened with the Cosmic Tech and Science synergies, so you can mitigate and also reverse the healing. Symbiote Supreme, you can what does it, nullify the regeneration there and get crazy damage on the special 3, so that works out really well. Dr. Voodoo and special 1 spam, I use this personally on my live stream, man, worked out really well. Human Torch with the Incinerate, so you can mitigate the regeneration and also reverse it if you are playing very aggressively. Havoc, you can get to a special 3 in 1 shot. Mega Red, all the degeneration damage is really valuable there, you can burst her down. But yeah, you will need a relatively stacked Mega Red and Suicide Masteries, but if you're running a Mega, you probably already know that. Proxima Midnight, if you get 3 to 4 missions, then you have the potential to one-shot with a really stacked special 3. Awakened Aegon, because this fight, you know, the regeneration is potentially infinite, so you can just keep on attacking in, keep on building up that combo meter, and eventually you'll get there in terms of the damage output with Aegon. Captain Marvel movie, once you enter binary ignition, you got a ton of armor breaks, some really good burst as well. Namor, I tried out my unawakened 6-star Namor, mate, and he worked like an absolute charm, but ideally you want him awakened, so that you can convert like the backblast into additional damage on Domino there. Sunspot can absorb the backblast node because it's incinerate damage and convert into even more damage, and also burst her down with a special 2, and also mitigate all the healing with incinerates as well. Sunspot works really well, man. He's a crazy good champion for this fight. Mysterio, you want to spam light ending combos and don't special 3. Mysterio, he's a tech champion, but he also does have full immunity to ability accuracy reduction, so yeah, Mysterio can work quite well. Scarlet Witch, if you get the right RNG and play quite aggressively, can work, but you got to be very careful using the special 2, because again, the special 2 can trigger backblast, and that can just absolutely ruin you, and bad RNG might be able to ruin you as well, but if you've got like a fully maxed out 4-star Scarlet Witch and you're playing aggressively, could work out there. Domino and heavy spam, however, you might trigger backblast as well. However, doing like one run with Domino, I managed to get her down like 85% in a single try, so she's left on 15%, so one more revive and the fight would have been dead there. So yeah, Domino can work with the full trinity. Warlock, the infection is immune to ability accuracy reduction immunity, so essentially you don't need to worry about the infection and the heal block not working with Warlock because it's immune to the tech node there, so that's a really good time. So you can heal block with Warlock and take her down that way, and I use my fully maxed out Warlock. It's really easy to do a Warlock actually, and I've heard some people have had some success using a stacked version of Thing with the 4 team synergy there. So imagine if you've got like a 5-star rank 4 or above like Thing, that's going to be pretty straightforward to do, and also Thing with the 4 synergies, from what I've heard as well, works very well for the Symbiote Supreme fight. So once you're done with Domino, then you've got a Quake fight up next. So Quake has immunity to all debuff effects, and also aggression, regeneration, and spite. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky Quake there. You essentially want a high damage output champion that doesn't rely on debuffs. Quake doesn't really have like that much health. I think it's around like 80,000-90,000 hit points. So yeah, honestly, she's not too bad. There's a lot of champions that can defeat her. Like Starknaut and Spider-Man work really well. Champions like Star-Lord, Red Hulk, literally any character that just has some good basic attack damage is going to be fantastic. And then you've got Invisible Woman, and Invisible Woman, I think reflecting on this, is probably my favorite fight. So you've got life transfer, so you've got a crazy amount of regeneration potential there, but you also have cornered, so you don't want to use any champions that deal a lot of damage over time. Again, champions that can deal a lot of damage without damage over time is really what you're after on this one. And also power struggle, so you cannot gain power during the fight through normal means. Each time the defender reaches a full bar of power, the attacker is granted one as well. So essentially the Axix node if you're used to it in the Crossbones chapter. But honestly, Invisible Woman isn't too bad if you are aware of how to fight her, and if not, just like parry 3 combo and don't hit into her when she's invisible, man, and that's pretty much the way to go. But we've got an Invisible Woman fighting guide on the channel, and she's like a much easier version of the boss that we had what was it, a month and a bit ago. And then we got Symbiote Supreme, who is a bit of an annoying fight as well. And there's this fight is probably going to slap you up a little bit because he immediately starts with 1 bar of power, but also has 150% improved power gain. So he actually starts with 2.5 bars of power, which is super fun, and he also has power reserve as well. But there are a few ways to kind of get into this fight and very quickly get this fight under control. So personally, for my very first run, I used Luke Cage, and Luke Cage is absolutely phenomenal for this fight, because you can get in, you can spam the special 1, but also if he does get to special 3, then you're going to have indestructible via the awakened ability to tank that special 3, so that's really fun. Starting on Spider-Man, if you parry and then heavy attack, like straight away, you can get the power drain as well, and also the assisted evade is really good for the specials there. You got the power lock with Dr. Octopus, which is a really good time. It will immediately trigger when you enter the fight, and yeah, you can easily refresh it via special 1 spam, and it just helps you very quickly get the fight under control. Vision, either one works, ideally the OG one, so you can immediately go up to like a bar of power, and you also have power reserve, so again your special attacks are costing 50% less there, so you know it's a case of just like spamming the special 1, special 2, and you can get that fight under control very easily. You've got Tech Champion with Captain America Infinity War synergy, so whenever Symbiote Supreme will throw a special attack, it'll fully drain his power. So yeah, that's a great one to bring in if you're bringing awakened Captain America Infinity War for Domino there. Gwenpool, you've got the ability to infinitely tank special 3s. You've got Ghost with the Hood synergy, Killmonger, the Black Panther synergy, allows you to start with indestructible. Hulk, you, with a lot of these other champions toward the bottom of the list, you do need to ideally get lucky and have Symbiote Supreme like throw a special pretty damn quickly, but once you get to like a certain special, you just win with these champions. So Hulk, spam special 1 stun lock, Hawkeye and special 1 spam for the power drain, Gambit and special 1 spam for the stun, Ronin and special 1 spam for the stun, Magic, if you can survive to a special 2, you can spam that and win the game. Domino with the full Trinity and spam heavy, I've heard is working quite well for a few people out there, so if you've got stacked Domino, you can rinse this lad down. Dormammu, you can spam mediums and get to the special 2 and just spam that for more power lock and power drain there. Thing with a full team synergy should work out quite well, and Nick Fury and special 2 spam should be an alright option there. You can take a little bit of a beating, kind of get to that second phase, make sure you have the tactical charges there, and if you spam special 2, you should be able to keep him relatively stun locked and deal a fair bit of damage. So I imagine that's a bit of a kamikaze tactic, but would work out alright there. And then we move on to the very final fight, which is Taskmaster, and Taskmaster is a bit of a treat to end it. So you've got the Icarus node, which gives you crazy damage. Ideally, you just want to throw whatever you got at Taskmaster, man. Try and burst this champion down quickly. But if you're looking to play a little bit more conservatively, you want to do like a full combo, then parry heavy, full combo, and you can do that like a couple of times before you decide to go kamikaze and burst. But also, once you get him fully immune to debuffs, he will generate 33% of a bar of power once you've applied 10 debuffs to him, so just be aware of that. And he's also got power struggle as well. But honestly, that Taskmaster fight, you know, if you got through the rest of the fights, man, it's pretty straightforward as well. So yeah, overall, it's not a bad time to get 10,000 5-star shards. I just, you know, personally do think Symbiote Supreme and Domino a little bit overtuned. I think if Domino had like a couple of nodes removed, or 1 or 2 nodes removed, and Symbiote Supreme started with like a bar and a half power or 2 bars of power, it'd be a little bit better, man, a little bit better. But overall, I really do like this boss rush, man. I think it was a really enjoyable time to do, but again, it depends on the champions you have and the counters you have to some of the more problematic fights in this one. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the content creator boss rush in the comment section below, and if there are any champions that you used and found really good that we haven't mentioned in today's video, please do let me know. But anyway, I just realized I missed out Mephisto for Domino, man. Mephisto is a great counter for Domino, completely shuts down the regeneration. But yeah, just a little additional pro tip there. I'm sure it'll be in the comment section as well. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If this video was useful today, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.